Uh, Hi. It's it's midnight. It's actually just after midnight. And rather than edit a video like another one, I decided I was just going to PNG tuber myself. And yeah, that's what we're doing. I have just uploaded the Hope is the Thing with Feathers cover. Finally, after way too long. Oh my god. I thought I was actually just not going to be able to make the deadline. I put literal blood, sweat, and tears into that thing, and I'm very happy that it's done. I'm also happy how it came out, but man, if I never have to do it again, Pog. God, I. Okay, so the reason I'm recording this is I wanted to talk about it and a handful of other things at the same time, but I could not I could not bring myself to open up DaVinci again. So here's where we're at. And again, I kind of apologize if it's kind of rambly. I literally don't have a script. I just started recording. So the I guess we'll start with the song. I really like that song. I think the finale to Pinakani in Honkai Star Rail has been so good and so wonderful that it actually just like I don't know. The contest provided 3 songs, and I I recorded the other two, but I don't know. I kept feeling like it just wasn't good, or it wasn't really up to like a standard. And I'm not even trying to be like, oh god, it's so imperfect. I can't upload it. It just, it, you know, Robin's voice is very, very specific. Like, obviously, she's very good, but I don't really have that kind of voice, right? I grew up in like a choir and like an opera, right? So I could bust out loud notes, right? I can fill a room with sound, but it's made to go with other things. And I've long since accepted this about myself, and that's okay. And I just don't really think they're very well suited. Like, I don't know. I I tried to do if I could stop one heart from breaking. I think that's the second one that I put any amount of effort in, and it's just like it doesn't work, right? If somebody made like a symphonic metal version of it, I bet I could rock that one. But as it is, no. And the deadline is in like 5 days. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna choose one and I'm gonna go ham. And Hope is the Thing with Feathers was what I chose. And I'm just super happy it worked out. Originally, I had made kind of a smaller and shorter, well, not shorter. I put less in it at first because, again, I've sort of accepted that I am not capable of like being unbiased to my own work, right? That's just how it works for all artists, and I'm no different, and that's okay. But it's a huge swallowing of pride to be able to say this is good enough. And so originally I had it at a good enough point, and I sent it out to a few of my buddies, and just no response. Literally, no response. It was as though I hadn't sent anything. And these are like my best friends in the whole world. And so I thought, all right, well, I guess I'll curl up and die. Um, and then eventually I thought, well, maybe it just sucks. So I listened to it again and again and again and again. And eventually I thought, man, you know what would be cool is what if I did this? Like, what if I pulled out the guitar for the first time in like a year, and I did that? And so I did. I laid down a quote unquote solo, and I thought, oh man, my tone for this guitar is not very good, but I really like it. Like I like what I wrote down or recorded, I guess. So what if I turned on the keyboard for the first time in years, put a distortion setting on that, and then did like a harmony, like a lot of prog metal groups will do. And that sounded really good. I thought it was so cool. I was like, oh man, we're balling now. But this is so terribly mixed. Like, it's so obvious that these instruments are like out of flavor. Or not, God, not flavor. They don't naturally belong in the song. So I thought, all right, well, the way to fix that is to put a backing track. So then I took the guitar, I changed its tuning again, and wrote like a rhythm guitar line. Wrote, it's in quotes, they're just arpeggiated chords. And then I took the bass and I played the root of each of those chords. No big deal. Very happy with those, how those turned out. And the song features strings, like, predominantly through it. And those had become drowned behind the distortion of the instruments that I added. So I added synth strings again. And while I was there, I decided that I would double over the solo that would normally be vocal, but I had changed it to guitar, and I did it with strings and then the guitar again, and then later with the high piano. And I really liked it. I thought it was like the coolest thing that I had ever done. I'm like getting like teary-eyed over my own work, and I was so proud. And then I thought, oh dude, what if we had like a chorus of voices, right? Because if you've done the content from which that song comes from, right, I felt like it was super appropriate. And so I did the shouts like heads up, you know, and that's pretty easy. I learned how to do that with the Orn cover that I did in February. And then I was like, oh, well, since I'm not using this space for like a vocal performance, I could just throw down all of the quotes that happened from that part of the content and then add a few extra, because I think Acheron and Aventurine are Pog characters. Like, the writing is just incredible. So I threw those down, and I kept arguing with myself with how I wanted to space them out. At first I was like, oh, well, let's just do one at a time. But then I ran out of time. And then I was like, okay, well, we can layer every other. We can do 3 groups of 2 and then 1 at the end, which is what I ended up doing. But the timing ended up getting kind of finicky, because I wanted the guitar solo to come in with like the pick slide sound, the right? And obviously the one to lead that in is Himiko's busted line, witness the will of the weak. And I had to do it to him. I had to pour my heart and soul into that line. My roommates had to come down and be like, bro, are you good? So that's how all that happened. And by the time I was done, I was like, yo, this is the best thing I've ever done. And if you're an artist, right, if you create things, saying that about your own work is basically impossible. Maybe I'm projecting, right? For me, it's been impossible. And I constantly struggle with this idea that like anything that I could make could be better, which is like objectively true. But at the same time, my disposition is such that like I have to make it better. But a very wise internet YouTuber once said, the cost of perfection is infinite. There is no amount of edits I can make to make something literally perfect. At least to the like ADHD imagination that I have of what perfect looks and sounds like. So I just have to eventually, you know, do the Midwestern thigh slap and say, well, guess I'm hitting the old dusty trail on this one. So that's where that came from. Glad I made it by the deadline. And even if I don't win anything, even if like the video doesn't do well, I'm pleased with it. And that's what matters, right? That's the part that matters. Speaking of things that I am doing purely for my own sake, this Mio challenge, the Okami Mio letters. There's a few things I want to say about them. Number one is that I've had this idea for a while, actually, since the hospitalization announcement, which I think was in May. Hold on, let me go find out. I think it was May 25th. I'm scrolling through Twitter because I am a responsible person. Is this it? May 12th. Yeah, May 12th. Yeah, so for nearly an entire month, I've been wanting to do this. And mostly, I'd stopped myself because I was like, bro, could you really be any more cringe if you tried? And the answer was no. Like, there's a liking an Oshi, right? Or like having an Oshi, multiple Oshis, etc., right? Pretty much everybody who's watching this is a fan of a VTuber for it, like in some way or another. And if you're not, man, you're missing out. But I really Mio is like Mio is my Oshi, is among my Oshis because she's just so wholesome and genuine. Every time I watch her streams, it feels like it's that feeling of like coming in from like a hot day outside and then taking like a nice shower. It feels refreshing to listen to her stream, which is, man, I might as well just like drop down on one knee and do the whole confession sequence while I'm at it. But I really like her streams. I like all of the Hollow Gamers. They're all tied for first place in my own little heart, which does indeed mean that if all four of them got sick at the same time or like stopped streaming, yeah, I would be making 4 videos a week talking in Japanese to all 4 of them and stealing their art tags for, ostensibly not art. Thankfully, when I did so with the Mio video, the Miofa, both English and Japanese, were so friendly. Oh my goodness. There was one comment. I'm gonna brag about this because it's like the first thing that's ever happened. The first time something like this has happened to me. Let me read the translation. Did you see the letter? Have you heard this? Miyosa, who is loved by overseas fans, has influenced so many people in different ways and saved us Miofa. I feel the same way. I hope this video reaches Miyosha. And I just died. I died right there. I was so happy because the whole time I'm recording this, right? I'm not that great at Japanese, so I'm like ultra super nervous trying to make sure that the pronunciation is at least like hearable, right? Something that you could just, if you understood Japanese, you wouldn't need the subtitles, but I included them in there just because why not, right? It's great practice. It helps me a lot. And the goal is to try and like use the translator less and less as I learn more and more words and become more and more comfortable speaking a language that isn't native to me, because eventually I would like to go to Japan. But I think I've said that every year, and it just doesn't happen. But one of these days, for sure. But I do want to try and like form this genuine connection. And I know that sounds super yikes, right? That's how parasocialism like begins. But for me, I don't know. I see a lot of things in kind of a transactional sense, which is not healthy, but it's just how I was raised, right? When I was given presents by my parents for like my birthday, it was not uncommon for those parents to say, "Hey, so since we got you this stuff on your birthday, now you have to do all of this stuff," right? And I grew up thinking that this was perfectly normal. So I have this idea that anything that is given to me must be returned in kind. Now, thankfully, instead of being a weirdo stalker, I have converted this idea into kind of more of a abstract concept. So like, if someone does something nice for me, right? In my head, rather than thinking that they've just done something nice for me, I've like obligate myself to do something nice in turn, with the idea of spreading positivity and all of that. And the Hololive gamers have done wonders for my mental health. which I guess is ultimately a good thing, but now that I've said it out loud, don't worry, I'm totally safe. I promise. Random internet animal girls will save my entire mental state. For real, they are in the room with me right now, I promise. But no, like Inugami Korone is so energetic. Nekomato Kayu is so relaxed and chill. Shirakami Fubuki is just really fun and excitable and always has something interesting to do. Even if it's digging a hole in Minecraft for 3 hours and then making her own BGM with a recorder. And then, Mio just does all sorts of she feels like the best of all three worlds, right? She's fun and interesting. She's energetic, yet not overbearingly so, because oftentimes I get home from work and I'm super stressed or strung out, and I can't really handle a whole lot of rapid stimulation. So sometimes I find it hard to watch the more energetic streams, and that's why I really enjoy the more relaxed and kind of, all right, gang, here's what we're doing today. And then she plays the ukulele and she has the most gorgeous voice. And so over the years, I've been watching her streams, listening to all of her songs, and so on and so forth. And I feel so I guess blessed is the best word to put for it, to be able to watch this content for free and be able to enjoy and internalize it in a way that makes me happy. And when I heard that she got hospitalized, I mean, yeah, sure, it's upsetting to know that, sure, some of those streams get delayed or they just they'll have to take a little while longer. But for me, I don't know. I feel like if it were me in the hospital, right, if I were in her shoes, I would really want someone to reach out and just stroke my ego a bit. Maybe it's me, right? Maybe I just desperately crave validation so much that the idea that someone would make a small stupid video attempting to speak my language would just turn my whole life around. But golden rule and all that, treat others the way you wanted to be treated. So the whole idea is to just try and do something positive while also learning something along the way, and also just trying to get used to making a video every week. Because when I started uploading on this channel, I originally told myself, oh yeah, one video a week, how hard could it be, right? It would take me a day to edit everything, but whatever. Yeah, once a month, BTW. So that's basically where we're at. I don't know how many of these off script videos I really like doing. I have a habit of ranting, and it's hard for me to stop myself. And so I've spent 25 minutes talking to my own avatar as it unblinkingly stares at me. I just noticed. Oh no. Okay, I think I'm going insane. So I'm gonna head to bed right after I uploaded this. I don't know why I used that in the past tense. Right after I upload this, I will go to bed. And then yeah, I'll be spinning up that next video for Miyosa. And hopefully it's not super cringe and awful and everybody hates it, because that would kill me on the inside. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the music. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll enjoy upcoming videos. I have a lot to talk about for Honkai Star Rail. I have a lot to talk about for, no, I think that's it. I think it's just Honkai Star Rail. No, Star Citizen. Oh my god. Things are happening again. Jesus, by the time I get a Star Citizen video out, they're gonna have Squadron 42 ready. Oh my god. Okay. That's what we're gonna do next. That's what I'm gonna do next. I promise. Oh god, I've told myself this since December. It's been 6 months. Holy shit, I've been uploading for 6 months. Yo, I'm pogging. All right, that's it for real. Let me. Where did I put OBS? Here it is. Man, I really hope that the audio went through, because if I have to do this again, I'm going to cry. All right, peace.